All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Sunday morning, roughly 10 o'clock, not quite. Had a fantastic game of Pathfinder 2nd Edition last night. Very heavy role play session, some moral quandaries, a very good man doing a very bad thing for what he felt was the very good reason, grief and stuff, and the players had to make a choice, and I'm proud of them. They got all the facts. They talked about it as a group, and then they went to the proper authorities and they handled it. So I was very proud of them. And they're very much an action-oriented group. They'd rather bash heads than talk. But I kind of threw them in that situation where they kind of had to. The thief learned that he can't just steal shit willy-nilly because he got arrested, first offense in Sothis, and he got all his gold and his thieves tools taken away from him. And then of course he had to replace everything, and he was broke again. So it was a very costly experience, but he did manage to get the money back in a very way that I did not expect. So it all, in a way, worked out. But he learned to be careful, but a very productive session. But we're not here to talk about tabletop RPGs. We're here to talk about miniature painting and, of course, my journey into 3D printing. And I got my printer all dialed in, pretty much as I'm sure it can be better. But I got it dialed in. I got successful prints. You guys remember, I think I showed these. These are the, let me go switch to the, the other camera here. Paint camera, there we go. Paint camera, sorry about that. So I'm gonna move those. I managed to, these are test prints. So they're supposed to have these little holes at the bottom that you see. And it's supposed to print a solid wall, and it's supposed to be pretty, solid. You can see there's a little bit of goop in there from the way it printed, but I think that's partly part of the test files. It prints 5, one in each corner of the test bed, and then one in the middle, so it would look something like that, I got to figure out which way I'm going here. It would look something like that, Anyway, you get the idea. There's 4, one in each corner, and then one in the middle. And it took me 3 tries. First try, I have 4 out of the 5 printed. The one in the back corner did not print. And then the second try, only 3 printed. And I was like, I'm getting worse here. What's going on? So I re-leveled the bed 3 times. Third time was a charm because the ones that did print were successful. But if I was printing a full plate of stuff, I wouldn't have got, what I wanted. I wouldn't have got what I wanted, and so it would have been, and it's pennies. So long story short, I am extremely enamored and very happy because on that third print, I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning on a school night. Needless to say, I was dragging ass the next day at work, but I made it through the day. I got the printer dialed in, at least for the most part. There's a lot more I have to learn. If you're on this journey with me, put your thoughts and comments below. It's a GK2 by Uniformation. I honestly think they sent me a brand new unit. I bought refurbished, and it was supposed to have been used, and I wasn't supposed to get all the goodies, but I did get all the goodies. The only thing I didn't get was a wireless antenna, and I think I'm going to go online and order that because, to be honest, bumping back and forth with the thumb drive is really kludgy. Even though my Mac is right here, I'm using my MacBook Air G2 or M2, and I've got it in a little cradle up here. You can't see it, but yeah, it's all set up. It's a pain in the ass to take the thumb drive in and out, but where if I could just send it wirelessly to the printer, that would be amazing. So I think I am going to pull the trigger and buy that wireless adapter. But the printer prints amazing. Well, you know what? A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So let's jump down to the paint table and let's look at what I printed. So here's the exciting part. Bases, oh my God, you can see there's some layer lines. If I can get it, yeah, you can see there. A little bit of layer lines, but not bad. There's a ridge to it, but I think that was in the original model. This is the side where all the supports were. And yeah, it's pretty nice. It's flat. There's very little, it sits pretty flat on the table. I printed off 3 of these. The 4th one is in the printer right now. These are cured, which is why I'm not wearing gloves. And they're not brittle. They're hard. And they're nice bases. So that's the bases. But what's going to go on the bases, you say? Well, Mr. Mean has a treat. Giant scorpions. And my God, so I printed 1 at first, and I knew I needed 4, and I don't know why. I printed 1, and it came out, and it took all night, you know, and it printed out, and I woke up the next morning, and it was sitting there, and I was just thoroughly amazed. I was so tickled pink, like a kid on Christmas morning. But as you can see, the detail on these is amazing. I mean, this is a pretty detailed miniature. There are no support markings on it. They all came right off. You know, and I went on YouTube and I did what everybody says. I use Mean Green. I have a Sonic Cure, Sonic Wash, and then I have the Uniformation GK, what is it, D2, D265 is the curing station. It's a little bit on the small side, but I don't plan on printing ginormous prints, and if I do, I can always break them up. But yeah, the print quality on these, I mean, and they're not, I mean, they are a little brittle, but they have some flex to them, as you can see. And I dropped one already. I gave it the drop test because I thought, well, fuck it, I can print another one, right? Takes about an hour and a half to print these with the base. So I put the base on one side of the plate, and I watch a lot of videos where, you know, they say don't print flat. Like if this is the print bed, if my palm is the print bed, they said don't print like that. If you less surface area, the better, and that's what supports are for. So they said take it up off the print bed, you know, so it's not touching the print bed, and then tilt it. And so that's what I did, and they came out phenomenal. You can see all these are giant scorpions for my Pathfinder game. Not sure if any of my players watch this channel, but I mean they kind of know it's coming because they're in the desert. We're in Osirian, and I mean, God, look at that. No, there's no dimples in here from the. I don't know if that's gonna focus. It's a better camera, but trust me, there are no dimples. There's no little broken pieces of supports. I use Mean Green to wash instead of IPA. I have a 7-year-old autistic son. IPA looks just like water. It doesn't smell like water, but I don't want to take the chance. Mean Green, my son drinks only water. He will not drink milk. He will not drink Mountain Dew. He won't drink soda of any kind. He may take a sip every once in a while, but he is a water kid. That's all he wants. He doesn't even want ice in his water. And that's just one of the quirks of autism. And it's great because he's very well hydrated. But IPA looks too much like water, and God forbid I'm not down here or he gets into this room. I do have a door on it. He's not very good with doorknobs and stuff, and this door is hard to open, and I didn't fix that for just that reason. But God forbid he gets in here, grabs that IPA, and decides to take a swig of it because he's thirsty, you know, and I have it in a small jug or something, so he thinks it's drinkable. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I went with the Mean Green because it looks like Mountain Dew. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Let me switch to the talking. I haven't dialed in all these settings yet, but this is Mean Green, super strength. It's dirt cheap here at our local hard store. It's called Menards, but it's at Home Depot as well, I believe. You can buy it on Amazon. It's a little more expensive on Amazon, believe it or not. But I bought 3 of these, less than 20 bucks. I think less than $15. I think these were $4 and some change for a gallon, right? Yeah, 1 gallon, 3.78 liters. So, and you need 7 liters for the Sonic Wash. And so I put this in the Sonic Wash. It works great, cleans these miniatures amazingly, as you can see. And I mean, everything just looks phenomenal. Like I said, I got the last one printing. I'm going to print some gnolls because that's the main bad guy in my game. And then I'm probably going to print like some sort of like demon of Lamashtu because that's kind of the evil deity that they're going to be as the adventure goes on. But I'm telling you, this 3D printing journey has been amazing. Do I know everything about it? No, I am learning like crazy. I'm watching the shit out of Fohammer's channel and Once on a Six-Sided Die because I like him. He's very down to earth. Fohammer has very polished, really good videos. once on a six-sider is very down to earth. You know, he drops a couple F-bombs or whatever. Not kid-friendly, but a good guy. I like his videos. Go check him out if you haven't. But yeah, I mean, that is amazing, guys. And I know it's a little bit on the shiny side, but I think that's the type of resin. I'm using Sunlu 14K ABS-like resin, or excuse me, ABS-like resin. I also have a 14K resin, which I haven't tried yet because everything I saw was the ABS-like, was guys that are printing miniatures said it appears to be one of the best. I've also seen videos where they mix resins to get like a little more durability or flexibility. I put these in the cure for about 3 minutes and 5 seconds. That's the default that was on the curing station when I unboxed it and powered it on. So I just went with it, and it seems to be working great. If you guys know of the proper curing time, I couldn't find anything on Sunlu's website. Their website is not, their stats page is not very good in my opinion. I just wanted to know what the optimal curing time was, and I've seen everything from a minute and a quarter to 10 minutes. And then I read stuff where if you cure it for more than 10 minutes, it becomes super brittle and it breaks real easy. And obviously I'm going to play with these. I'm going to paint these up. These are going to go outside today and get a base coat of black, and I'm going to zenithal highlight them, and then I'm going to slap chop them. But I wanted, you know, I'm going to play with my toys. You know, that's the whole reason I bought the printer. But yeah, I mean, all of them came out exactly the same. There's supposed to be, that's supposed to be a saddle right there. If you can see it, it's a saddle, and you can put a miniature in there. But the STL I bought did not have the guy that sits in it, which is fine, because Knowles are my bad guys, and I believe the image I saw had humans sitting in it. So just having these as giant scorpions to harass my party is pretty good. One of the other things I did watch on the curing the miniatures is they said as soon as it comes out of the curing, try and scrape it with your thumbnail. I have hard nails, so it said, you know, if you can't put a scratch in it or whatever, then it's fine. I saw some sites that said if it's shiny like this, it's not properly cured. But then I saw other sites that said it depends on the resin. So as far as I can tell, this is properly cured. I let them go for a little bit over 3 minutes. And they seem fine. They don't smell funny. My fingers don't. I have very sensitive hands. I've had acid burns on my hands in the past, back in my days in the Coast Guard, where I spilled battery acid all over my hands. And so regularly my hands will peel. They're very sensitive. I have a great sense of touch, and this isn't bothering me at all. Of course, I wear proper PPE. I wear proper PPE when I handle this stuff. I have my, they're in the other room because I have a sink in the other room. So I've been rinsing this stuff off after I cure it. And then I've got a waste bin down here with all my contaminated paper towels. And I'm just going to take those and let them sit out. It's a nice sunny day today, so I'm going to let them sit outside and cure, and then I'll just throw them in the bin. I watch a lot of British TV, can you tell? The bin. And I also say the boot for my trunk. But overall, I'm extremely happy with this, guys. I've been doing nothing but pre-supported, although I've been using ChuChuBox 2.2, the latest version. They did send me a card. I don't know where I put it. They sent me a card with a code. I couldn't get it to work. It says you get 2 licenses for 6 months, but to be honest, the free version's working just fine as far as I can tell. I don't know what other functionality or features I need or want because I don't know enough, but I'm just buying pre-supported miniatures off of My Minirefact. So far, the only thing I've bought, I downloaded one thing for free off of Thingiverse, and it's a Keurig coffee K-pod holder. It holds 9 pods, and it's you know, slided, and I don't know what my wife is doing up there, but all that racket. Oh, she's outside with we got one of those wiggle things that sprays water everywhere for the kid to play with. Anyway, guys, I'm babbling. I'm just so enamored. This is so cool. Hold on. Not that that's going to help, but it might help a little bit. I'm just so enamored with this whole process and just amazed at how well it works. I mean, I will say, first of all, stuff is very toxic. I'm using the Sunlu resin, which is low odor. I have a very sensitive sense of smell, and I smell it just a tiny bit. I do have a mask that I wear, but the printer's going right now. It hasn't stopped since I woke up. I printed these the two things and the three bases last night, and when I woke up this morning, I'm telling you, man, it's such a kick to walk out to the printer and open it and take the plate off of the printer and look and see your build. It's magic. And you know, I bought the STL for this, so I can print as many of these giant scorpions as I want. Will I ever need more than 4? Probably not. But you know what? I have the STLs, and if these break, or you know, because we're gonna play with them, if they break, I can print more. It took like an hour and a half to print one with the base. I've got the last one printing now, and then I'm gonna slice the Knowles. I had a hard time figuring out the thumb drive for some reason. I don't know if it was Chitu box or it was the GK2, but it wasn't reading the thumb drive. And so I got a 4 gig thumb drive, because I did read that some of these printers don't like large thumb drives, and I was using I think a 1 terabyte thumb drive. I found a 4 gig thumb drive basically in a dump box somewhere of my old IT equipment. I was like, oh, and so I reformatted it, FAT32. Seems to be working now. I haven't had to change the names. I did truncate the names, and it was easier to find, because when you put it in the printer, there's all these weird files that I can't see them on my thumb drive, so I don't know where they're coming from, and they're off of the thumb drive. I don't know if they're hidden files that I just can't see. And Mac, I'm on a Mac using the latest OS. I think it's 14.4 or something like that. Let's see here about this Mac. Sonoma 14.5 I'm using on a MacBook Air M2 processor, the Midnight Sky or whatever it's called. I love it. It's a great Mac. I'm seriously tempted, because I think I'm going to dive into this hard. I'm seriously thinking about buying another Mac Mini and putting the Mac Mini in here, which would make it a little more feasible, more ports and stuff on it. And would make it a little bit easier. But I don't know, we'll see. That's you know, $600 I don't necessarily need to spend. But I like having my MacBook Air it's my daily driver, you know, and right now it's all plugged into everything. So, because I got my camera, my lighting and everything going. So if I get another Mac Mini, which is reasonable, I guess, $600 to me for a basic Mac Mini, which will do everything I need to do, would be perfect, and I can sit it in here and it wouldn't be a problem. But anyway, I'm babbling again, as I just said, but I am just so enamored at how cool these things came out. I'm just, I mean, look at that. That is awesome. And like I said, if it breaks, I just print another one. I want to learn how to play with exposure times and things like that for the GK2. So if anybody knows of a good website that kind of explains that and goes into it and maybe puts the settings. Again, Fohammer said it best. My settings won't necessarily work for you, so you've got to tweak it, but I don't know how to tweak it. I understand how the software works, but I don't understand what all the settings are, so I need to do a little more research on that and learn. It's a learning process, but guys, please be aware, this is a hobby in and of itself. There's a lot of gear you got to get, a lot of safety material, you know, and you've got to be, you know, if you got pets or kids, this resin is toxic, and so please be careful with it, because it's dangerous stuff. I mean, this Sunlu resin seems to be not as harsh as all the other resins, and of course, with technology being what it is, this resin process is growing and growing and growing. We now have water washable resins that you can use. You still have to be careful with them. They're still toxic, but you can use water to rinse them, and then you can clean it up that way. And there's process. I'm not going to go into the process, but I've been using the Mean Green because it's simple, it's not as toxic, it doesn't smell, and I'm pretty happy with it. So, and I just bought a cheap little jar, filled it up with Mean Green, and then I just swash this around. It's got a good lid on it. I just slosh this around, you know, to get the miniatures, get the bulk of the resin off. I've got a pickle jar coming, 4 of them coming. They'll be here tomorrow, and I'm going to transfer from this to that. And because the pickle jar, you can put it in there and you can raise it up and down. All the liquid stays in the container, but the miniatures raise up in the pickle jar. So I'm going to do a 2-wash station because that seems, everything I'm reading says that's the best way to do it. Right now I'm just rinsing in this really heavy, and then I'm letting them drip dry a little bit, and then I'm putting them right into the sonic washer for a couple of minutes, and then from the sonic washer I let them dry. I have a blow dryer that blows cold air, but it's so hot here right now. We're in the 80s and low 90s, probably up into the higher 90s today, but there is a nice breeze, but it is very humid and hot. So the cold air, or room temperature air blowing on it, dries it pretty quick. I guess my understanding is you don't want to put wet, uncured resin in your UV curing station because it'll mess up the resin prints. I put the first one in and I got lucky. It doesn't seem to have, because it was a little bit damp when I put it in. And then I was watching another video and then I saw, oh shit, you're not supposed to do that. So I made sure the other two were dry really well before I put them in there. And I got a little cheap hair dryer. And I just blew them dry until I got all the moisture off of them, and then I tapped them on a paper towel, and then I put them in the curing station. And as you can see, they came off. I'm going to switch to this camera one more time, and then I'm going to stop babbling. I am going to do another video of painting these, and that may be later today. I don't know. My wife has some honey chores for me, but guys, look at that quality. Look how nice that is. And like I said, I did use the auto support function in Chi2 Box, and it came out perfect. I'm very happy with them. I'm going to glue those to the bases, and I'm going to be super excited. I can't wait to see the players' faces when I throw that on the table, and they tell them they've just been, ambushed by 4 giant scorpions. I got so many cool things I want to print. I got some mummies, I got some skeletons, Egyptian style skeletons. I'm super excited. So anyway, and I haven't even gone through my first box of resin yet. And I printed 15 of those, or 12 of those boxes, which I can use in my miniature war games as terrain, or even in my RPG games. I'll paint them up probably black and maybe paint them like stone or marble and something and make them like altars or whatever. There's a lot of things you can do with it. But pretty overall impressed with everything, I gotta say. I don't know what else to say, guys. This is super cool. I'm gonna go back to the talking head. As always, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. We're both learning together. If you have any tips or tricks, put them down in the doobly-doo. Thank you so much for all the support. Like and subscribe. I think we're up to 28 subscribers, which it's a brand new channel, so I feel pretty good about that. If you have any questions or you want to know anything more that I can answer, put a note there. The algorithm likes communication back between the YouTuber and the community. So, and I love talking to you guys. Also, hit me up on Discord. We've got a new 3D printing channel on Mr. Mean Speaks. So it's going to be supported there because this is my new hobby. I'm super ecstatic for it, as you can probably tell. And I just think it's super cool. So with that, I will bid you adieu. As always, like and subscribe. Remember, Mr. Mean says, be nice. I'll catch you in the next one.